Three shots, four par, I just do two. One putt, par four, birdie, woohoo. New driver, info, replace, M2, par five, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into. Start right, good line, good view. It drew, shooter McGavin, two thumbs that's up high and two fingers pointed.
Right on the Screws podcast, presented by Manscaped, manscaped.com. Our friends over at Manscaped again, coming through once again. Big month in April. Thanks everybody for the support who went over and used the code at OTS Golf over on Manscaped.com. 20% off plus free shipping. National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month just wrapped up. It was a big campaign and it went pretty well, went really successful. So thank you to everybody for the support. Obviously helps us, and there is a lot of science and research and a way to find a cure. So thank you so much to everybody for doing what you could, who supporting the pod as well. Manscaped.com. Use OTS Golf, 20% off plus free shipping. Bryce, this is a bit of a different one. Bryce is here with us. Anybody who's just listening along here, we figured we've been talking a little bit, Bryce. We figured let's get on some personalities or some, whatever it may be, where golf is kind of a second piece, right? Just lost my video there. I don't know what happened, but
Yeah, we're just trying to mix it up a little, not so much people in the golf industry and players as much, more kind of players still, but outside of the golf game. So like we
Yeah.
have Cole Perfetti coming up here, who plays for the Winnipeg Jets, and he just picked the game up recently. But it's cool to see a different side of it for sure.
Yeah, and I was kind of fascinated with the idea of golf being a secondary sport. So we've had pro golfers on, or people who, run their own businesses, like Barry Fort, the GM at Copetown, like in the
Mhm.
golf industry. Golf is like their main thing, right? Obviously, a bunch of PGA Tour Canada pros and stuff too, some LPGA pros. The idea was like to share something where golf is a passion, right?
Mhm.
So I think having Cole Perfetti, like you said, Winnipeg Jets, young superstar was pretty cool idea to kind of I know you and Blake know him, and it was a really fascinating discussion. So that'll be kind of coming up right after this. But it's kind of cool to like break into this idea with that thought. And we have a couple other guests kind of lined up too. So if you like this one, go over at OTS Golf, send us a DM. Always, we'll get back to you within a little while, and the feedback is much appreciated.
Mhm.
And if there is something that you like or don't like or something you want to see on the pod, we're trying to get a little bit more engaging with YouTube. It's difficult right now, golf season starting. So, and I know everybody's busy. Mark's really busy too, doing some, who's doing our editing. So we're trying to just kind of get it up for now, put up some shorts and stuff like that. So go over and check out our YouTube on the Screws podcast over on YouTube as well. Bryce, before we get to Cole, I wanted to, I did not give you any idea that we were going to talk about this, but I thought we could talk a little bit about your past. So we haven't really got into like your hockey career or anything like that. I've always touched on it. Like Bryce has played at high level. Maybe we could talk a little bit about what brought you into the game. I know you've been playing golf a long time, just like myself, but
Mhm.
hockey was your first sport, I think. I
Hockey, lacrosse, then golf.
yeah. So like you're a pretty damn good golfer. I guess if you were to rank your sports, you're probably like the best at lacrosse, right?
Lacrosse, hockey,
Right.
and
But you
then
still
golf.
played, hockey at a high level. A good portion of our listeners are from Canada. We're getting into the NHL playoffs right now. We have 3 teams from Canada to the NHL playoffs, most we've had in a little while, right? So,
Mhm.
um, maybe tell us a little bit about how things got started for you, like in the hockey. Let's go with hockey because that's kind of what we're, we'll get into
Yeah.
the golf a little bit, but this is kind of like a hockey slash golf episode.
Well, I think I kind of just started with my dad. Obviously, he played when he played growing up from in Ajax there, and he used to build rinks in our backyard ever since I could remember. I remember I was 1.5 years old skating on the backyard rink with no pylon, no cone, just
Wow.
wheeling around free skating. And I remember my mom was saying she was pregnant with my brother. She said she'd tie my skates up once. I'd go there for 6, 7 hours just skating circles. And then I'd come in for lunch and then she'd lace them right back up and I'd go right back out after. So that's kind of where it started. And then I was lucky enough for them to kind of put some money up front for me to play rep hockey all growing up, and I pretty appreciative of that because I know it gets real expensive, especially with
Oh
three
yeah.
boys. But that's kind of how it started, and then it just kind of took off. Fell in love with it, and didn't stop playing for as long as I could.
So you still play now. You still play like men's
Mm-hmm.
league now, but
Yep.
so you went on to so Bryce and I are cousins. Most people listening to the pod know that now. So through my wife is Bryce's cousin. So when I first met her, I think you'd just gotten drafted in the OHL or were just about to be drafted. That was,
I
19
think it was
years
my
old.
minor midget year. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did
So
you saw a few games when I was in Whitby, didn't you?
yeah, I think you guys were because you were out in Belleville for like the OMHA championships or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was out there. Um, I don't know if I was out like just out in the city or whatever, and I came by and checked it out, or if we drove out because we would drive quite a bit. Like, and I know
Mm-hmm.
when we were kind of getting together, spending a lot of time with is when kind of Chad, your middle brother,
Yeah.
was like coming up too. So I got to see a lot of his games, which was great, and a little bit of Blake's as well. And um, so it was like, yeah, Belleville was the first time I saw you play. I remember that, and I think I'm pretty sure you had already been drafted at that time, which was so you were like a goal scorer. That was like
Mm-hmm.
your thing, right? So you were an elite offensive talent.
Yeah. Not much defense there, but
That translates directly to your golf game, if I can say.
yeah.
It's all
Oh
like
yeah.
all gas, all power, like
Yeah.
moving forward all the time.
Yeah. Layups are for basketball.
Exactly, and you'll see that in some of our reels that we've posted. For Bryce and I, like I made a birdie the other day on the hardest hole, one of the hardest holes that I played, just specifically because the green is like so nasty. And
Mm-hmm.
if you check out the putt, if I would have missed it, I was 10 feet.
Gone.
It was gone.
Yeah.
It might have been off the front edge of the green.
Mm-hmm.
But so so what was that like? You talked a little bit in this episode about what it was like, kind of to start that that pro life mentality of moving away from home, moving in with like
Mm-hmm.
a billet, stuff like that. Um, did you have like any connection with golf at that time, or was it just hockey, 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 and then obviously lacrosse was like a primary sport for you as well?
I mean, yeah, I've been playing golf since I can remember too. My grandpa was a member at Cherry Downs for the longest time back
Also
when they were
known for some of the nastiest greens around this area too.
yeah, back when they were private too, and they were concrete. Like
Yeah.
you had to, if you're hitting a 60-degree wedge from 100 or whatever, 90 yards, you had to land the ball 10 yards in front of the pin because you weren't stopping it. It would skip off those greens. But yeah, I was on the range as soon as I could walk, hitting balls. And my mom actually told me this the other day. I used to draw crowds when I was like 4 or 5 years old because I was hitting the ball so far. And I laughed when she told me that because I mean, obviously I don't remember it, but it's just funny to hear those stories.
I feel like I heard that story about you a little while ago, that you were
Yeah, I feel
like
like it was
just
kind of recent.
3 or 4 years old, crushing like 100+ yard drives and stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty
but we'd
cool.
always go because my grandpa had to spend his clubhouse, like you have to spend the minimum at the
Yeah.
food and beverage, so we'd always go for dinner, and I would never be at the table. I'd always be either putting or hitting balls on the range, or they always had to come get me to come eat, and then I'd scarf my food down real quick and go right back out. So
Yeah, I just wanted to like kind of take a minute and like touch on some of that. It'd be like this is an episode that was kind of cool because we get to learn a little bit about like the life of Cole Perfetti, who's now
mhm,
playing, in the NHL, PJing around everywhere right now, like a really
yeah,
successful young individual, extremely well spoken, really intelligent guy. It
yeah.
was a great listen, so stick around and listen to it. I wanted to kind of like take a moment and yeah, I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of touch on what kind of got you into the game, hockey as well, and then obviously lacrosse. I remember, so I played lacrosse in like high school and stuff. It became a big thing when we were in high school, and our team was okay. I was never very good at it. I remember specifically like my best lacrosse story is in high school, playing and going to like you like poke a guy or whatever in the
Ofsa.
chest or whatever. Yeah, we are in
Oh
like
yeah.
OFSA, and I like get hit as I'm like poking somebody, dislocate my shoulder like 10 feet, 10 yards maybe in front of my girlfriend in high school and all of her friends. And I just like hit the ground. I think I threw up a little bit. and I just like let out, like, I guess like you let out a pretty weird noise.
Yeah.
You've dislocated, joints and stuff before, and it doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel bad, but like the idea of it, like when you move or it like starts to, I don't know, I don't want anybody to be sick in their car, but when it starts to go back in, it does not feel fun. So that was like my best I guess that's my best memory in lacrosse. But it's a cool sport. It's fun. It's fast. It's like, we really enjoyed it, and like our team is actually pretty good at it for like a small trade school, which was cool.
Nice.
But yeah, like I got into golf too when I was young. My mom would bring me out to the course all the time. My high school, again, trades high school, we didn't have a big team. It was like myself, there were 3 other guys, casual golfers, and it was tough. Like, all the guys have been playing a long time and stuff. I did fairly well. I really liked like the match play and stuff like that. And I remember, I think I've told the office story about going like 73 or 75 or something like that one day, and then shooting a 91 or 94 or something the next day. It was pretty, yeah, but it was a good start. I love golf, man. It was kind of like nice to get into it early, and it's kind of interesting. I like hearing everybody's different stories about how they like find the time to play all these different sports. You know what I mean? And how to like navigate all that different stuff, right? So
Yeah, my prime time golfing years were probably from 12 to 15, because I
Yeah.
remember we had probably, I don't know, at least 14 kids with memberships at Deer Creek, and we would literally all go there at 8 o'clock in the morning and get picked up at dark, and we'd
nice.
play literally as many holes a day as we can. Sometimes we'd have 6 groups out there,
Yeah, that's
all
pretty
one
sweet.
after another. So those I feel like that's where I got pretty decent at golf.
Well,
And then as I got older, having to deal with the stress of playing cherry, really tightened my game up, because that's a tough track.
I feel like I'm going through that with Port Hope right now. Although 76 or something the other day. I shot well the other day.
Nice.
3 birdies, no doubles, which was good. No doubles.
Awesome,
Which was nice. Like, I had a decent day. I only had 1 lost ball, which I played, so in 36 holes there, I've only lost 1 ball, which is pretty good. Got up and down as well. So, or maybe I didn't. I think I made a bogey. Anyway, so it's been good though. It's been games coming around. I was doing a little bit of practice, just kind of walked out onto one of the holes, practiced a little bit the other day. It was just pretty good. But
Nice.
we have another recording we're going to jump into now, but we might as well go ahead, just get into the episode. This is a pretty lengthy one. Really appreciate the time from Cole Perfetti, again, Winnipeg Jets. Thanks to Bryce and Blake for kind of setting this one up. This is, I know, one of Bryce's younger brother, Blake, one of his childhood buddies. So really appreciate the connection there. And yeah, hopefully we're going to tee up with Cole at some point this summer. He's going through a little bit of injuries and stuff like that. Maybe next summer, but if he's in the area, maybe we'll get something live, or I don't know, roll some putts or something like that, see if we can get going. But
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, this is our episode with Cole Perfetti, Winnipeg Jets. Enjoy. Are you a superstitious guy? Hockey players are notoriously superstitious.
I'll give you his answer right now, because everyone says it. I try not to be superstitious, but I have a couple things.
Yeah, there's a couple things I do. I wouldn't say I'm superstitious, because, if certain things, don't go in a certain way, like it doesn't throw me, like it won't throw me off if, like, something doesn't happen in the exact way that I need it to. Obviously I try to do, like, I'll tape my stick the exact same way.
Those are both definitions of being superstitious, both of those things.
What do you mean?
They are superstitious ways, right? So I was saying to Bryce, like, I always put my stuff on left-hand side, like, so.
I was a freak when I played.
Yeah, and it's like,
it's pretty normal. A lot of guys do it to, like, get their mind in the right, state to play a hockey game and feel comfortable out there. So, I mean, I like to do certain things, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't happen the exact way I need it to, it's not a big deal.
You're not like Tyler Seguin waiting to whoever the other player is going off the ice last or whatever it is.
Yeah, being the last guy off. Yeah. No, it's not that big of a deal for me.
So we didn't do an intro, but we're in conversation with Cole Perfetti, Winnipeg Jets, number 91.
Yes.
Okay, right on. So connection through Bryce and Blake, and really appreciate you taking the time. I ask you that, Cole, because I was going through this with Bryce, and his eyebrows were sticking up, and both of them, or one of them was sticking up. I don't know.
The one, yeah. Actually, it's pretty good right now.
So 2018 Saginaw Spirit, 63 games played. He had 37 goals, 37
Mac
assists.
was digging deep for this.
Are you a numbers guy? I'm a numbers guy. So 37 goals, 37 assists, 74 points, right? So next year you come back, 61 games, pretty similar. 37 goals, 74 assists for 111 points. 111 minus 37 is 74. 74 assists. You had 74 points the year before, 37 goals. So what is is there anything about that? Or is it was that just a fluke?
Yeah. Just a fluke. I remember my dad saying, at the end of my second year there in Saginaw, he's like, that is so weird. Like the numbers are they're all the same.
Yeah.
Just funny how it finished, but that was a coincidence. Didn't really plan on that, trying to score more, trying to get more points. So didn't plan on stopping there.
I couldn't get the game by game stats to see if you just shut it down with a few to go. We're like, oh, this is cool. This is it. But yeah, maybe we can jump into it, Cole. Give us a little intro. Tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe a little bit about yourself away from the rink. This is something we're trying to do, introduce a little bit of, you're a golfer, you play golf, but obviously you're a professional hockey player. So we're trying to introduce a little bit of the mindset of people who are kind of into the game as a hobby, passion, whatever it may be. Maybe tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Grew up in the Whitby area, same areas as the Yetman family, known them for a long time. So, I grew up in Whitby, played my minor hockey there, played all kinds of sports growing up, but, hockey was my main one and kind of stuck to that when I was around 13, 14 and just tried to pursue that and ended up going to the OHL in Saginaw, stayed there for 2 years and then COVID shut us down. And that took me into my NHL draft where I got selected by Winnipeg and pretty fortunate situation for me where I got to come to Manitoba, play in the AHL as a 19-year-old. Not a lot of people get that opportunity, so that was pretty lucky for me, and really gave me a good shot to make the Jets this year, which obviously took a little bit of time, and halfway through the year I was able to kind of crack the lineup and stay with the Jets. So just like you said, just started getting into golf. Having the COVID shutdown was big for me. I think, a lot of hockey players are, you have the summers off, so you play golf. That's kind of for me. I was never into it, but I realized, lots of guys are doing, all my friends are doing it. So gave it a shot, joined the course, joined Oshawa, and have a great group there and loving it now. Just enjoying golfing every day in the summer.
Nice. Just to go back to that COVID year, the O didn't have a season. Do you think you would have went back, or do you think you would have still played in the A? Because I know for some guys, if you're ready for the A, you'll play there. But some guys go back for their 19-year-old year.
Me, I was still too young to go to the A at that point.
Oh, I forgot about that rule.
I would have had to have gone back to the L if it would have happened. Yeah. So, I mean, it sucks that the OHL got canceled and obviously didn't get to go back to Saginaw, but I got to play in the AHL.
It probably benefited you too to kind of get that next level and play.
100%. I got 30 something games in the AHL, then got an opportunity to go play in the Worlds over in Latvia, and represent Canada at the men's level. So that whole year, the whole COVID year, a lot of guys missed out, but I
benefited.
Yeah, exactly. So it was awesome. It was awesome for me.
So you guys both played junior hockey in the States.
Yeah.
Yep. Both kind of went that route, right? So
for Sag and Plymouth being so close, I feel like there wasn't that much of a rival. I don't know.
Yeah, not really. I mean, once
you had Flint, but
yeah, we had Flint, but once they went to Flint, I think there was a huge rival just because it was 25 minutes away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't really hear much about Plymouth and Sag being.
No, I mean they had a little bit of rivalry, but nothing like they should have.
Yeah, now it's kind of big with Flint and Sag, they hate each other. Yeah.
Well, I heard the rumors of through COVID that it might be 3 teams, right? 3 teams in the States.
Yeah.
Having to play that bubble or whatever it was.
I know. I heard
it. That could be. Yeah. Could you imagine what that'd be like after 9 games of seeing the same team? But
yeah,
always hockey, Cole. Always hockey for you.
Yeah, I mean hockey since it was always one of the sports I played. I mixed in a lot of lacrosse, soccer, stuff like that. But hockey was always something that stuck, and was always there, and then kind of made the decision at 14 that I was just like, I got to focus on this. This is what I want to do, and went from there, and obviously ended up here, and it's been a good choice so far.
Yeah, no kidding.
Are you a soccer player? Do you play at all anymore?
Not anymore. I played when I was like 10 to like 13, 10 to 12, somewhere in there, like a couple years.
You
Yeah,
still
me too.
got it when you play in sewer or what?
I got sewer good. I'm good at sewer, but I'm all right at sewer. Let's say that. I'm okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Nothing special. There's all the Euros on our team are nasty.
Yeah, how good are they? It's
so
insane.
good.
They're all so good.
So
They're all good at ping pong too for some weird reason.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm very good at table tennis, not ping pong. Bryce, come on.
Man,
Actually, I came over and I played you guys. I played you guys one time, and I was terrible in your basement. But I hadn't played in 10 years. But like I played against this. I used to play at the gym I was at, and I played against like Mr. Howe. I remember Mr. Howe. He's like a Japanese like national player, and I probably played 200 and something games against him before I finally
He
beat him.
just ran the tables, eh?
Oh, he's so good. Finally got him. But my dad has played. I think he played in the Premier League for like a season before he came from Scotland. I
For
did
table
not get no, like soccer.
Oh.
I did not get the soccer
Whoa.
genetic at all. I'm going back to soccer, and I did not get that.
Terrible.
You're an Italian guy,
Yeah, I am.
so is
But
that that tough right now? The world, like, should we not talk about?
I
Canadian
mean, I'm
soccer
not that
maybe?
much of a diehard. I'm more of a. I was cheering for Canada to qualify more than
Yeah,
like obviously I'll cheer for Italy, but it was cool that I was cheering for Canada more. I would consider.
yeah. I don't want to say
That's
I'm like a big soccer guy, but I guess like,
I could care less about soccer.
but I guess like they were the Euro Cup champs, right? Italy.
Yeah,
and
they
then-
won. They won the
yeah,
Euro Cup,
and then now playing the
yeah, they didn't even have like everyone thought it was like a big deal because they're gonna have to play Portugal to get out of their like group to get into the World Cup, and they didn't even have to play Portugal. Kind of just walk their way to the World Cup, which is pretty frustrating.
That's tough. That's tough. So you kind of, you know, when you're a junior, do you obviously like some of the guys like Bryce and I are both playing baseball and stuff like that when we were younger, golf since a young age. Did you play hockey like all year round? You're still a young guy, mind you. You're still a young guy, but
Yeah. I mean, when you're young, your body can just go and
Right.
like playing spring tournaments, summer tournaments, skating all year. Now it's a little bit different. The last couple of years, I've come back and take a month off, get in the gym, then get slowly ease my way back into it with a couple skates a week before August I start to hit it hard.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like it's such a long year. Your body takes such a toll on your body. It's such a grind that it's like you got to come back, take a little bit over a month off to give your mind a reset, give your body a reset. And so now it's not year round. I mean, I guess it technically is because I'm in the gym as soon as I get back, and that's kind of my job, which would go hand in hand with being on the ice and hockey. But yeah, I'll take a couple weeks, maybe a month off from ice and kind of just relax for a bit.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice being home too after a long season.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing the family, seeing friends you haven't seen all year, it's tough. But
Are you in a hotel room right now?
no, this is my
Apartment
room.
or-
Yeah, I
Okay.
got me and one guy on the Jets got a townhouse.
Nice.
Oh, nice little spot.
Do we get to know who you're rooming with right now?
Dylan Sandberg,
Okay.
big defense from Minnesota.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
He's actually a heck of a golfer.
Is he?
Oh man,
Next week
He
on
is
the pod, Dylan Sandberg from Minnesota.
like 6'4", 225, and just
Jack.
max the ball. Like he's
That's
it's
sweet.
frustrating.
So do you find golf cool? Do you find it as like a bit of a release for yourself? Like being a professional athlete, I am not a professional athlete. I don't know the demand that you go through. But I have a professional like working career as well. So, they're 40, 50, 60 hours a week, whatever it may be. And, you go to the golf course to kind of unwind, right? So you're not at the level you are in your career without being an extremely competitive guy. So do you find that the golf course, you can kind of like use it as a release, or do you find it to be, you said you picked up the game a little bit later. Do you find like you're trying to always be competitive with the guys? You're playing with some of the best players in Canada, a couple of these young guys. So, what do you think? Like, is it fun for you, or is it grind trying to find the game?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Like it's so much fun, and I can just go out there, put my phone away, not worried about anything but hitting the ball for
Mhm.
4 or 5 hours. So it's a great way to just get my mind off of everything and just hang out with a couple buddies. But at the same time, like it's so frustrating because it's so obviously golf is such a hard sport for everyone, but let alone like especially someone who just started. And I like you said, I'm playing with guys that have been playing their whole lives and are so good. And it's so frustrating when I can't do the things that they can do. And I have like obviously I know I can't do it, but it just frustrates me when you lose all the time. Like, but at the same time, just having a good time, like trying to get out there. And
so now
I'll tell you what, though, playing against guys like that gets you better, whether you like it or not. Like, you learn so much from like golfing with guys that can stripe the ball.
100%. I mean, playing with your brother, playing with Jack, Ethan, like I'm getting free lessons basically every time I play.
Yeah, exactly.
Blake's not giving you anything for free. I'll tell you that right now.
No,
he's on the same team. He is, but
yeah, is Thompson a good golfer? He's decent. Jack Thompson.
Oh yeah, he's real good.
He's really good.
He's real like he would be probably like a 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
Like he wouldn't be at cards or your brother.
Yeah, I didn't know where he was at.
A couple shots.
He just got on the ice too.
Yeah, he's having having a great
in the stew now.
Yep. No, he's real good at golf. So everyone we golf with is so frustrating. Oh my god.
So next time you play a pickup game, you take it easy on the guys, right? So same type of thing, right? So who got you into the game, Cole?
Of golf or hockey?
Let's go golf.
Okay. I mean, my dad always wanted me to be a golfer, and I was never interested. And then COVID happened, and started golfing a little bit at the end of that COVID year in Sag, like my second year in Saginaw. We started golfing a little bit, and I was really good friends with Ethan. We played in Saginaw together, and he was a member at Oshawa, and he was just like, dude, just come out, like just try it, get a membership, try it for 1 year, see if you like it. And sure enough, went out there and loved it, and played 70 rounds that year. Was there every day on the range, just loving it. So I guess you could say Ethan Cardwell got me into it, but it would be everyone at the course, saw a bunch of guys that we're friends with, and just being with them every day, like hanging out and having someone to golf with was just it. I got hooked.
Yeah, being a member is more than just golf. It's like the camaraderie of like your buddies and being at the course and everyone working there, and that's it's fun. Yeah, you can go hang out there all day.
Exactly, I love it.
Yeah, we don't I'm a member at Port Hope, so I've met a bunch of guys already. Been playing a little bit, quite a bit actually, and they were telling me they got this like little made up men's league, which is pretty cool. So they have like a couple prizes. You throw in a 20 or whatever, and closest to the pins and whatnot, and no longest drive though. So like that's the best part of my game this year, really. Bryce, same thing, right? But downwind, I hit one 365 the other day. It was like 75-kilometer winds though. It was right on the water. All you gotta do is throw a ball up in the air, and it just kind of flows down there, right? So it's good though. We'll have to have you out. It's good. Bryce has never played Port Hope either, have you, Bryce?
Nope.
No. So it's one of only 6 courses on Lake Ontario in obviously Ontario. So it's definitely one to go check out. It's a pretty cool little track. But same question for hockey.
Yeah, that one's my mom and dad. More so my dad. I mean, my mom obviously wanted me to be a hockey player, but she was kind of just like, whatever he wants to do. My dad put me on skates on my second birthday. So we had a backyard rink, and I didn't know, I obviously wasn't skating, but I was just like, he was just trying to get me to stand up on skates. And ever since then, he's the one that got me into it. My grandfather was taking me once a week to like a private rink and doing like, he was kind of teaching me how to skate and all that kind of stuff. So my family's huge. My mom, my dad, they played a huge role, and they're the ones that, my dad always he always had a dream that his kid was going to be a hockey player. And fortunately I love the game.
Yeah.
And
making dreams come true.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't, you have a dream for your kid, and I think, they might not necessarily love that sport or what you want them to do. But for my dad, fortunately, I loved it right away. Loved hockey right away. So
did you ever play with my brother? When you guys were really young, you played together.
Hockey when we were young. We might have when we were really young, like 6.
Yeah.
I know we played lacrosse when we were really young. But I don't know if we ever played.
Because you played year up, or
Yeah, once we got to
You
novice,
went
like I
up,
played
right?
with the old, yeah, year older the whole
Blake,
the
yeah?
whole way up.
Yeah, Blake.
Blake's-
You're
yeah.
Blake's age, right? You're 02?
Yeah, I'm Blake's age. Yeah,
Yeah, but then he went up. You played with the.
I played with
the
Chad
one.
a bit in like like before novice. It was like
Yeah.
I don't know what it was called.
I think
Silver Stick.
Silver
maybe?
Stick. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I played with Chad there. And then he was obviously
Coach Greg.
Yeah, I think he was my coach. I think that was my coach. So obviously, he's 2 years older than me though, so I didn't play with him for that. But
So who are you giving the nod to? We'll put you on the spot.
Coach Greg.
yeah,
Blake or Chad. If you're well, I guess you guys were young, right? So
Yeah, like real young.
yeah.
yeah, like 5 or 6 years old.
I always like pairing these guys against one another. So Bryce is my cousin. Everybody who's listening to the pod knows Bryce and I are cousins, and I see everything that Coach Greg and Jody have gone through raising these three guys. So all pretty good individuals here. Not too bad. So you know, good thing for your parents. Are you an only child? Cool.
No, I have an older sister.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, it's a lot. They've been through a lot, man. So, you know, be thankful. Remember them, because I'm a dad now. So it's one of those things where it's like it's a different level of you know, kind of prepping your children for their life. So good for him getting on the skates at 2. Obviously, it's paid off, right?
Pulling on the
Yeah.
heartstrings a little, eh?
Hey, man, it's
Alright.
yeah. If we when he makes it, it's
Yeah.
Let me ask
you
you, what's the you get the so you sign your entry level deal, right? We don't have to get into specifics or anything like that. What's the first thing that you got for yourself or for a family member, a friend, or something?
I didn't buy anything for a while.
Smart.
Off my signing bonus. I put it all away. After playing the AHL for the last year, I came back and I bought myself new clubs. That would be my biggest purchase,
Nice.
probably. And
That's
I bought myself.
literally what Chad just did.
That's
too.
I was just gonna say, Chad did the same thing. I was there when he
Sorry.
came home with them.
Yeah.
He came in the house and he was like, "Oh, I just got like new gear. He had all the new Sim 2 stuff. I just like gotten the driver or something too. So we were kind of checking it out. He's pretty excited.
Sorry to cut you off there, Cole.
Yeah, no, that's as soon as I got some money, I was like, I'm gonna get some new golf clubs. So that was pretty good. And then I bought myself an iPad. That was it. Everything else is kind of in the bank or just day-to-day stuff. I was fortunate enough to have a car already for my parents. So
Nice.
Yeah, you start talking gear and Bryce is gone. You've lost.
Yeah,
You've lost him.
I'm a
He's
big
just-
gear
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's,
What'd you go with? You go TaylorMade stuff or?
yeah, I got P790s, and then I got Sim 2 driver and 3-wood and hybrid, and then I got a Scotty putter.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
I'm
it.
not good enough to use it all, but I look good on the course.
Hey, you'll get there though. I mean, you
Yeah.
said you were what 120 your first round. You're down to
Yeah.
like mid 80s. I mean, that's a hell of a start, man.
That's
Yeah, well, yeah, it took
And
about
the
a
mo-
month to shave like 10 strokes in like a month.
Yeah,
It was all dipping
The
and
more
putting
you
on it.
play, like you'll just keep
Exactly.
going down and down and down.
Exactly.
That's almost my game right now. I might not be getting up to 120, or we wouldn't be hosting a golf podcast. Yet, but yeah, I can go out there and shoot a set. That's why the guys like immediately they're like, "Oh, what's your handicap when you join like a club or whatever?" It's like, you know, say, "Do you really want to know like what the average of my 10 best scores are, or like I have an extremely volatile game? So if I tell you the average of the 10 worst scores, it's going to be very different." So handicap's a misleading thing. I don't really follow it. Bryce follows it to a T. Scores everything, but
What?
yeah.
Yeah.
You're
I
writing
don't
it
have a
down,
handicap though. I've never kept my handicap,
dating all your score. Well, yeah. So,
but
but,
I have all my scorecards from the past 20 rounds.
yeah, I was there when Chad came home with his stuff. He's it's pretty funny. So he's got all
He's
the same
getting
gear.
really into it now too. Sorry to cut you off.
I think
he
he got
is he-
the 770s though. That's what they had. And
Yeah.
Chad's a pretty good golfer. He's a pretty good golfer. And then he's got the old 8802 Bryce. Have you seen
I
that?
know. Yeah.
I looked at that. I was
That
like,
thing sat in our garage for so many years. I used it like a couple times, but he took it, re-gripped it, and it's his little baby now.
yeah, I love those putters. They're it's like the old Wilson style, like the
He plays like my
Phil
dad
Mickelson.
though. He's
Phil
boring
Mickelson.
golfer. Hits the ball like 250. Hits a little wedge.
Your
and then
dad
just
beats the
shoot
pants
putts.
off you though.
My dad's a good golfer.
He is.
Not
He
anymore,
is pretty good.
but
And he's got the like 89 DTIs or some titles
know.
DTIs, and he's still shooting 70s with those things.
Yeah.
So let's go back to junior, Cole. You start playing junior hockey. So what's that experience like? Obviously, Bryce, we should have talked about this at some point. So jump in here. Same type of experience. You go away from home, you know, kind of moving on to what is the start of a professional career. What is that like for yourself?
Yeah, it was a little overwhelming at first. Like, you know, you live with your parents your whole life and they do everything for you. I mean, not saying that like your billet family essentially does everything for you too, but you know, you're away from your family, you're away from your parents at 16. It's definitely different. It took a little bit of adjusting, but I mean, I was fortunate enough to have a great billet family. Like, I talk to them every day now. Like, when I was in Florida, they have a place down there. Like, drove down from Tampa a couple hours down to their place on Marco Island and spent Easter there last weekend. So that's the kind of relationship we have with my billet family. Like, they're I lucked out big time. Sometimes you hear horror stories about billets and stuff like that. So I lucked out, and which was I'm pretty fortunate for that. And then obviously on the ice, there was a huge adjustment. Like, you're playing against, you know, you're used to playing against kids that are 14, 15 your age, and now you're going against you know, guys that are 20, 21, you know, 19 that are signed in the NHL. They're men, like they're big, strong. It's a big adjustment at 16. So it was hard in the beginning. But it was a great experience. Like, learned so much on and off the ice, you know, not just hockey wise, but how to be good, like handle your stuff.
Yeah. You're just forced to grow up, really.
Yeah, that's what it is. You mature so much in 1 year, like it's crazy. So yeah, it was great. I loved it in Saginaw.
So talk a little bit about World Juniors. Can we get in? I love World Juniors, like everybody does, right? So best time, like we talked about Masters a couple weeks ago, best time of year in golf. World Juniors is kind of like the best time of year in hockey for me anyway, and I think a lot of us. So,
and you played a big role there too. So
I mean, the first year was awkward. Like, there was no fans. Obviously, we were in a tight bubble. COVID was still pretty fresh, so it was really strict and a great experience. Like, you know, anytime you get to wear the Canadian jersey, especially at the World Junior level, it's pretty special. And it was awesome. Ended up losing to the US, which in the gold medal game, which hurt. That one hurt. It was a big reason why I wanted to go back to this past year so bad. Like, I wanted to win a gold medal, and I, you know, we had such a good team, and you know, having friends and family there this year was for the first couple of games was awesome. And then obviously, you know, you guys know what happened. It got canceled because of COVID, and pretty frustrating. But yeah, it was awesome experience. Like, World Juniors, it's everything that you dream of and more. Like, you know, you always picture when you're like 8 years old playing for Team Canada at Christmas time, and to be able to do that twice was pretty surreal. It was awesome.
How good is Drysdale, man?
He's real good. I mean, you see him, like, he's my age and he's already at 100 plus NHL. Like, you see how good he is.
So good.
Playing with and against him my whole life, like, you've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I remember my brother, because he's pretty good buddies with Chad, because he played with him in Erie, and he was like, kid is going to be so good. And like, I didn't really pay too much attention, but then I started watching him a bit, and I'm like, holy, like, he's unreal. Stud.
He's unreal.
Like, obviously, I've been watching the game my whole life as well. Didn't play it at the level of either one of you guys, but yeah, it was like I said, it was tough kind of growing up in like the Ben Bishop era. You got to be 6'6". But when I saw Drysdale, the first game I went to see in Erie, I was kind of blown away. Like, I hadn't seen a skater like that since like
Sean Day,
like Erik Karlsson, man. Like that level of like elite skating. And he's obviously doing really well now. So I guess World Juniors, they're trying to redo the bubble or something like that this summer. Is that happening?
Yeah, they're going to do it in August in Edmonton again. They're going to finish the tournament off. I don't know how it's going to look, how it's going to be, but they're saying it's going to happen in August.
Wait, they're going to finish it from last year?
Yeah, like the year that got canceled. So like all the kids that are like, so like the same teams are going to go back, like the same rosters.
Really?
Go tournament's going to start over, but they're going to have the same rosters, and it's going to be like finish that. Like,
Winnipeg won't let you go though, will they?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Obviously, will you go if you get the chance?
I mean, you'd love to. Like, it's World Juniors. I mean, it's not the same, you know, thing. And you're spending a year of pro hockey, like half year in the NHL. Like, it's a little bit, but anytime you get to wear that jersey, you want to go. But yeah, we'll see what Winnipeg says. Obviously, it's
Cool.
It's going to be 3 weeks before training camp.
Yeah.
And it's going to, obviously, having an injury this year, leading into the offseason, it's going to be a little bit trickier of a situation. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Edmonton's a great spot too. We've made a lot of friends, Bryce and I, in the pod. Some of the guys out in Edmonton, so we got to get out there in the summer and check it out. I had an invite out to play. It's, I guess, out in BC, Sagebrush, and they've got some really nice courses out that way that I got to get out and check out at some point. So we got a bit of travel. Bryce and I are going to hook up a little bit this year. So hopefully, if you're around though, Cole, you can come. I don't know, roll some putts on the greens or something with us sometime. We'll come play. We'll come play Oshawa, and we can just walk around and chat or something. But
what's a day in the life for you? Maybe just before your injury, just like a normal day at the rink, kind of what you go through.
Yeah, like you said, obviously the injuries changed my schedule a little bit, but on a normal day, when everything's healthy and good, usually we're there at like 8:30, 8:45 at the rink. So I'm out a 15-minute drive, so I get up at like 8, head over there. We get treated really well with the food, so we have a full buffet breakfast and omelet station, all that kind of stuff in the morning every day. So that's it's pretty nice to wake up to. And then usually we'll have a meeting, tape your sticks, work out, do your warm up, and then hop on the ice at 11. Usually skate for about an hour, get off and do whatever you got to do, treatment, sauna, cold tub, hot tub, whatever you got to do at the rink. And then they provide us lunch at the rink as well. So usually just eat some lunch, take some of that home for later, come home, and depends on the time of year, but in the cold winter, it's me and my roommate are hanging out, watching a lot of movies, playing a lot of video games.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of staying busy when you can't really get outside because it's so cold.
Yeah. Is that every day of the week? You guys are kind of there at 8 and out by like noon.
Yeah, obviously game days are a little bit different. Yeah. Like you'll have
travel days and stuff.
Yeah, so that stuff changes, but like that's our typical practice day. Our typical game day is get there at like 8:30, skate at 10, and it's usually about a 15-minute skate, just touch the puck, no workout, and then just get back and have a nap, relax, do whatever you got to do before the game, and then head over like 3 hours early. So
nice.
I'm a big Hellebuck fan. Like I said, I was a goalie, so I'm a big Hellebuck fan. One of the best goalies in the world. Top 3 probably, right around there. So obviously, like there's some elite guys like Vasily himself, John Gibson, a couple of these guys, and then you score on this guy in practice, like
buddy, I would light this guy's lamp.
So
you know, a sunburn after I was done with him.
It's the beginning of the year. I was a new guy. And I was not.
Just shooting it out the pads, eh?
Exactly. I was just sifting it in there on the pillows, making sure that I wasn't hitting them up high. Now, kind of built a relationship with them. Went ice fishing a lot with them, so
nice.
kind of got pretty close with them. So now
you're just ringing his bell
down right beside his ears. Try to just score as much as I can. And kind of he gives it to everyone. He's pretty competitive, especially on the ice. He'll yell at you like when you score at him. He'll freak out. So
that's awesome. It's
pretty fun. So yeah, not afraid to shoot high on him anymore, but I used to be.
Yeah. Do you ever get the old pucks coming back at you after you score on them?
Sometimes if you rip one, like, and he doesn't like where it hits him.
Yeah.
And there's time, he'll grab the puck and rip it at you in the corner or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could
like that in junior. I'd always give it to him after I scored, and he just fire one at me.
Yeah,
I told Bryce that like as a goalie, you get them in like some bad spots. I ended up taking one like you kind of go up for like a save and like you bring your shoulders up a little bit here if you're watching us on YouTube, and like I took one like right in the bottom of the cheekbone, just split a tooth right open. It was just like tough spot. It was like a deflection like right up in front of me. I don't know.
I couldn't be a goalie, man.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Crazy.
They're fearless.
Yeah, and then I went and just played like pickup with my buddies and score a bunch of goals and stuff like that in men's league. It's fun, man. I should have I don't know, should have tried that originally. I don't think I got a better chance at golf. I'll just stick to golf and podcasting here and what Bryce and I have going on. Draft day. So I've heard we've been lucky enough to hear the story with Chad. Not on the podcast, but Chad shared that story, that kind of like special moment pulling the heartstrings here again.
Bulls was a little different though, a few rounds before Chatty.
So Bryce just loves giving it to him, eh? So I know Blake was there. I was talking with Blake.
Yeah, Blake was
Yeah,
there.
so
It was
yeah,
at
he was
Brock
there.
Street Brewery.
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah, it was at
in
the
Whitby, yeah.
brewery. Yeah.
So
And
can
then we
you
went
can
all
you
back
take
to
us through
my
that
place.
day? Can you got a few minutes? Take us through that day.
Yeah, that was so like during COVID, not a typical draft. So we did it at home, and at the time we were allowed 50 people in an indoor space, I think. So we rented out the Brock Street Brewery and like had like the whole place to ourselves. So it's a pretty good spot. Had lots of family, friends, everyone that I kind of thought helped along the way, and then a bunch of my buddies like Blake, Ethan Cardwell, Jack Thompson, all my bunch of guys from junior hockey that got really close with, and they were all there. And I think it started at 8. I got picked at like 8:50 maybe. Felt like the longest 50 minutes of my life. Like I was sweating the whole time. Every pick I was like so anxious, and finally got picked at 10 there, and it was awesome. So happy, and then had to do a couple media things, and then went back to my place. We celebrated actually at Brock Street for probably an hour, just with all friends and family, and then all my buddies. We all went back to my place that night, and just had a good time, hung out, and celebrated. So it was pretty fun.
Bit of a short golf career. Have you made a hole in one yet?
No.
Okay. So when you do, we're gonna have you back on. We're gonna ask you like what was more like electric at that moment, like getting drafted in the NHL or making a hole in one. Because
I don't know if a hole in one would even contend, man.
Probably not. Probably not. If
I don't know. Yeah,
it's a good feeling. Trust me, it's a good feeling. But I don't know.
I think probably not just because I've worked my whole life for hockey, but if I get a hole in one, well, Ethan Cardwell is in my foursome, and I can get it before he gets one.
Yeah, there you go.
I might lose it.
Ooh.
I might freak out.
Maybe I should try to go first round next year and compare.
Yeah.
In my beer league, I've been lights out.
Bryce says
$4 a game, so I might as well.
Trust me with the hole in one. You've only made one hole in one, man. I made one when I was like 13. I've been hunting it ever since. So it's a pretty wild moment. I had one a close call last year. I'm not bragging, telling the story again. It was on a par 4. It just hit a good slope and shot onto the green, and it was like a foot away, and I didn't even know, like, because you can't see it, right? So
and you threw a dart at Deer Creek when you're with me.
Yeah,
that one had a chance.
We thought, because we couldn't see it land, so we did think it went in, so we were a little excited, but you couldn't see the hole. So it's a pretty cool moment, like, especially if you can see it go in. The first and only one I've gotten so far. A lot of close calls, but was
I didn't
cool.
see mine go in either, but I knew like it was. I looked at my guys I was playing. I was like, that could be in the hole, boys.
How do the hats work, Cole? You get a hat from like every team. How does this work?
For
the draft.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, they gave us that night. I guess it was like the first time they ever did it. So yeah, that night they gave us a hat from one hat from every team.
Right.
They wanted to make
didn't see them. Like they tried to keep them like hidden from you, didn't they, or no? Or they just all out in front of you?
Like they were all just in a box.
I guess it didn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's whoever picked me. I just had to pick the hat out of the box.
Okay.
They just sent all 32 just in case. Obviously, you never know. And they wanted you to have something from the night, like when you get drafted, like in a regular draft, you go down, you get your jersey, you put a hat on, you take the picture. So they wanted it to be someone like that, like when you get picked and you're on the Zoom or whatever, that you can throw on the team's hat. So got a box of hats and a lot of couple buddies that got drafted at other teams. I gave them their those hats. I'm like, I'm not. What am I gonna do? And the rest of them, I got like a box of like 20 hats just sitting in my basement, like never gonna do anything with them. To donate.
Once you're a Jet, you gotta burn those. You gotta give those things away, right?
I gotta burn the Maple Leafs one.
Yeah,
I know. I posted questions for Cole today, and the Leafs fans and Leafs Nation here were
Ruthless.
It was a little bit. There were a few golf references and stuff like that. And I said, don't worry, I'm a Leaf fan too. We'll be joining them on the course soon enough. So, but I wondered that because I was like, these guys aren't actors. Like everybody's so excited, but how do they get the hat? Like, how do they know, right? So it's one of those things. It was kind of it was on my mind. I did because we were obviously I was watching the draft too, so I was like, how do they know? Like, I don't know which one to pick and whatnot. But first goal against Anaheim, Jamie Drysdale.
Yeah,
we were talking about him earlier. So first goal against Anaheim at Anaheim, or no, sorry, first goal was at Washington.
Yeah, first goal was at Washington.
First game in Anaheim.
Yeah.
So were you at home versus Anaheim?
No, we were in Anaheim for the first game, and then in Washington for the first goal.
Gotcha. So what was the first game like? Like you've kind of taken us through the day in the life, but kind of maybe getting into the tunnel. What's that feeling like?
Yeah, it was. You know how it goes. Like when
no, I don't.
like when you like watch like, their solo lap. So I knew obviously that was coming, and
just jitters.
Got to the front of the line, and I remember saying to myself, "Just don't slip on a puck."
Hey, right?
Just a couple of laps.
Did you have a bucket on or no?
They let me go. They didn't take mine. So like a couple guys that we had, like my roommate, when he played his first game in Detroit, he was getting dressed. He went to the bathroom to fix his hair, whatever, go to the bathroom, and they took his helmet. They hit it on him, so he had to go out with no helmet for the whole warm. So kind of glad they didn't. I got to wear my helmet. But solo lap was great. My parents actually were able to find a flight. They got out there to Anaheim for the first games. We played in Anaheim and then San Jose. So went to Anaheim, played, awesome experience. Like it's the NHL, like just I was losing my mind. I was having such a good time. And then a couple of days off in San Jose, my parents made the drive down. So went out for dinner with them. It was a great trip, and then played in San Jose, and that was that. That was my first road trip in the NHL. And
what a guy, Bryce. Could you imagine, like, you raise your son, you want him to be in the NHL, and then he gets to play out on the West Coast, and we're Canadians, obviously, so they're headed down to the West Coast. The parents must have loved that, getting to check out the games. Nice little vacation too.
They had a blast. Did the drive from Anaheim to San Jose. It's a 6-hour drive. They loved it. I think it was that like pretty scenic route.
Yeah, no doubt.
We actually played a pretty legit course on the ocean on one of our off days. It's called Half Moon Bay. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I've heard of Half Moon. Yeah,
it was pretty sweet track, like right on the ocean. We were using rental clubs and stuff, so everyone was just trash. But it was just the experience getting out there and playing. So that was pretty cool. Like when we have off days, like last week we were in Tampa, and all the guys played. The first day they went down to Trump National, and they played that, and then the next day they played TPC Tampa. So pretty good.
Anyone bring their sticks on the plane? Just throw them in?
No, they a couple guys were bringing range finders and their golf shoes and stuff, but they just rent clubs.
Yeah, just get a caddy. The guy who does our intro music, Roy Blackroy, does a great job. We've been using his music for a while. It's awesome stuff. He posted like a reel of Half Moon Bay, and it looked so good. Definitely.
It was very nice.
One of his favorite courses, definitely on the bucket list. But Trump too, as well as so rangefinders and shoes and stuff. I like it.
What about first goal?
Yeah, that was in Washington. It was actually we went up 1-0 like the first shift of the game on the power play, and then so my two line mates are on the first power play unit, so they scored like 20 seconds in the power play. So I didn't get a shift. My first shift was like 3.5 minutes in.
Who were you playing with at the
time? Pierre-Luc Dubois and Kyle Connor. I was playing. Kind of got the puck in my own zone, just shoveled it back to our D and behind our net, and he made a stretch pass to Kyle Connor. He made a little chip to Doobie, and I was kind of just hustled up the ice, made it 2-on-1. He put a pass right on my stick, just to catch, close my eyes, and release, and pray to God I went in, and kind of blacked out after that. Like I couldn't believe. Like I remember coming back to the bench. I looked at Doobie, and I was like, man, I just scored in the NHL. Like holy shit. So it was pretty cool. I remember like the whole night I was just like, so happy, like couldn't believe it. But yeah, it's pretty great, pretty cool feeling.
That might be a better correlation with the hole in one story. That might be.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
A couple of pretty good line mates there too. Not bad.
Yeah, I
LJ,
lucked out with that one.
I'm a huge Cole Perfetti fan. Definitely a huge Cole Perfetti fan. But Kyle Connor does wonders for me in the fantasy world. So
Yeah,
he's an unbelievable player too, right? What a yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
being
playing with
being
him,
online
it's,
with him would be a lot of fun. I imagine.
it was just kind of the stuff you look at, like it's just passing the puck and sit back and just being off what they can do. Like the stuff they do is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
Still-
my teammates used to say about me.
Still somehow underrated too. I don't know.
He
I
is
know.
very
I
underrated.
don't know how.
I know not enough people. If he played in Toronto, he would
Yeah, he'd be
he'd
I
be the
know.
most talked about guy in the NHL. So
good old Michigan boy too.
yep,
Yeah.
he is. Yep. So great great player. Like practicing with this guy, that's the best. Like after practice or whatever, just messing around. Like the stuff this guy does is blows you away. It's unbelievable.
Before we let you go, Cole, I want to ask you, what's the toughest thing about being a professional athlete? There's obviously lots of good that goes into it. What's the toughest thing for you to whether it was adapting the lifestyle or kind of getting into the routine, anything that sticks out for you?
Yeah, I mean,
Travel. We hear a
professional
lot of
athletes-
travel. We hear a ton of travel. Bryce and I have, and like, it's a bit different because they're all driving or whatever it is. But like we try to get a lot of the PGA Tour Canada pros on and stuff, and travel is always what we hear.
Yeah, I mean, so our travel is probably a little bit different.
Yeah,
PJs be everywhere.
Yeah, we PJ everywhere, and we get spoiled when it comes to that. Like the travel's not bad. I mean, it is hard when you're going from, I don't know, San Jose to Colorado, and you gotta. But even then, like back to backs aren't very common.
You're just walking on the tarmac, right on the plane.
Yeah,
right,
getting served like
touching
a
down,
steak on the
yeah.
plane. So like the travel's really not that bad. I guess the time change is kind of hard. Like when you go from
right.
you'll play in Vancouver and then the next night you have a back to back in Edmonton, and it's time change a little different. It throws you off and having to adjust to that, and I guess the jet lag a little bit. But for the most part, like we get our travel situation is so good that that's not really an issue. I think
it's got to be the size and the speed, no?
Well, yeah, the physical like, the physical aspect of it is very hard. Like, your body's going through at 82 games in a season, and you're, going up against freak shows every night that are just specimens, and you're putting your body on the line. Like, it's obviously very hard that way. But I think another part of it that kind of is like the media is hard to deal with. Like when you're fresh into it, like learning how to deal with the media, like, in your face after a loss, trying to ride the good with the bad. Like it's hard, and being in a Canadian market, like obviously there's lots of eyes on you, lots of attention. And we have great fans and good media here, but you can see like it can sometimes wear on guys, and it's hard, and learning to deal with that was not easy. Still learning, obviously. I've only been around for a little bit, so I'm still learning how to do that. But yeah, there's a lot of criticism. It's being a professional athlete, you're compared to your peers every day. And one night you can be great, and the next night, you might not have your best night, and you're going to get criticized. So
I'll let you know.
Yeah,
that's golf, right? That's golf too, man.
Yeah, I think it's all professional sports.
Yeah.
Like you have to take the good with the bad. Like, you live a great lifestyle, you make lots of money, and you're on the road, and you have a lot of great things about it. But there's obviously things that, it's tough. So, but it's awesome. Like the lifestyle is so fun. Like, you get to play hockey for your job. It's pretty, it's pretty ridiculous. That
you deserve it, man. You deserve it. If, it's like, I'm a big believer in professional athletes. Bryce and I, we were talking about this a while ago now, Bryce. Remember DJ went back-to-back 80s, and then he fired off like 9 wins or whatever it was, 7 wins in like a year and a half, right? So like people are kind of writing him off. 80 went back-to-back 80s at, I can't remember what tournament it was, but and then obviously wins the Masters and stuff like that. So everybody has their good and bad days, right? So it's hard, man. Being a professional athlete would be tough. Again, I do not know by I have no experience with that, but I can't imagine. It'd be a grind. Be a grind regardless. Anybody? Who's the toughest defender you played against?
Like, what do you mean, physically or like
even
actual defensive?
However he perceives that.
I mean, the best defenseman I played was Makar. Like,
Yeah, he's just good. He's pretty.
Yeah.
What
like,
I said, I literally had this conversation with Mac on our last episode. I said Cale Makar is the best player, best defenseman in the league, hands down.
Yeah,
defensively, offensively, I don't care.
He's the most dynamic. Like, I remember, like, we got killed by Colorado one night, like 7-1 or something, and he was just flying up and down the ice, and he's so good. So I would definitely say he's up there. Quinn Hughes is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, we were saying this because I think I said we were talking with.
You said Hedman for defensive defense.
Yeah, we were talking with Bob Winskowitz. He's the owner of Squares Golf. They're like a golf shoe manufacturer. They have Sepp Strack on their roster, so he's just one.
We should get Cole connected with Bob and get him shoes.
Yeah, so he's from Boston, very thick Boston accent. And I was saying Charlie McAvoy, in my opinion, is one of the best defensive defenders in the game, right? In the game of hockey. So, one of the best all-around defenders too. So then we got into the conversation about Cale Makar, Victor Hedman, and those guys. So I'm just curious at your level, kind of anybody you've run into or who you've run into that you've kind of like.
Yeah, all those guys, and then I would add Roman Josi.
Yeah, he was in that conversation the other day.
Yeah. He is unbelievable. This guy is he is
a unit too.
He's been good for a long time.
So hard in the corners. Guy, I think he has like 90 points this year as a defenseman. It's just insane. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, he's up there for sure.
Yeah, that's a he's pretty good, man. He's pretty good. I like obviously ours is always fantasy, so Roman Josi's always kind of one of the ones that comes up, and obviously Edmonds pretty good and stuff too. So it's kind of one of those things. It just makes you think like, you know, at that level, is there anybody that you've run into that's been kind of like, I don't know if I can beat this guy. What do I got to do to beat this guy? And then you would kind of develop your game to try and do that.
Chip and chase, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of everyone in the NHL. They're all so good defenders.
Isn't it crazy?
You can't beat guys one-on-one, really, unless you're Patrick Kane or something like that. Like, you get lucky, but they don't have a good gap or they make a mistake. But for the most part, you're not beating a guy one-on-one. So,
and I feel like so many people don't even like look at that aspect of NHL. Like, when you watch a game, realize how many guys chip pucks off the glass, like to get it out of their zone or chip it. Like, it happens way more than people realize.
You have to. Everyone's just in the right, like the positioning. They're always in just a perfect spot. It's so annoying. Like you can't do anything, but you got to get it in deep because you're going to turn it over. So just that's how good everyone is.
That's what I've always said. The difference between like the A and the NHL is like positional and where guys know where they need to be. And
exactly.
Literally, the guy's never out of place in the NHL. They're just always in the right spot at the right time.
That's exactly what it is. Like the AHL, they all skate the same, they shoot the same, they have the same hands. Like physically, they're all the same, but it's mentally like where you like being in the right spot. Like in the NHL, you're in your correct spot. You're gonna get the puck, and you know where to move it because other guys are gonna be in the right spot.
Yeah,
it's almost easier. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, obviously being harder, but it's almost easier.
It's kind of a good correlation or way to tie golf in is we've had the executive director of PGA Tour Canada, Scott Pritchard, on. He said the same thing. So, you know, when they have guys come through play PGA Tour Canada, obviously they're as good as the guys on the PGA Tour. They're as talented. But it's the guys who can like be mentally prepared to get to that next level, go through Corn Ferry Tour, go on to the PGA Tour. You know, it's a mental game at that. Sometimes there's freaks. There's like Tiger, John Daly, guys like this that are just like random freak athletes that are going to play no matter what their mental state is, and they're going to win. But obviously, like something that Scotty Scheffler is going through right now is he had that mental breakthrough, and now he just wins every week.
Yeah, every week.
Every week. But cool. Thanks so much, Brad. Anything you want to, or Bryce? Anything you want to add before we go?
No, I'm good.
Just blended you and Chad together there. Sorry.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was weird. I haven't done that before, but yeah, you and your brother as a duo can just be Brad now. But thanks so much, Cole. This was great. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. This was a lot of fun. Kind of nice to see it from a different perspective and see golf as like a hobby, right? So let's tee it up this summer if we can. Or I guess you're not going to be playing a whole lot this summer, but we'll connect. We'll try and I don't know if you're down at the course. I work close by. I'll come by, say hello, and we'll roll some putts or something.
Perfect. Yeah. No, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, hopefully we'll get out for a round, or hopefully soon. Hopefully this summer.
Might be 2023, but even if we just go pitch a couple balls, man, we'll have a good time. Bryce will be down. We'll have when Blake's I don't know if Blake's there again this year, but if he's down there, we'll come by and say hello.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, man.
Very cool. See you, bud.
See you guys. Have a good.
He's out in my ball in the course, so I tee up. I lose the ball and I re-up. I miss a fairway, I probably end up in the ocean or maybe the beach. And I'm on a par 5 and I'm finna go reach it. Second was blind, I ain't see it. Feel like it might be an albatross, worst case scenario.